And really there are two types of people in this world when it comes to this idea. There's the people when it comes to sex, there's the people that need the emotional connection before having sex, and then there's the people that need the physical connection before having sex. And for these emotional people, they need the emotion first to then engage in the physical. And for the physical people, they need the physical first to engage in the emotional. I'm Rachel, and you're listening to the Owning Your Sexual Self podcast. Hello. Welcome back for another episode of Owning Your Sexual Self. Kicking off March with this episode. I cannot believe that it's already March, by the way. My gosh, this year already is just flying by. If you're local to me here in Michigan, congratulations for surviving the ice storm that we had going on last week. That was fun. No power for probably 3 to 7 days, depending on where you were located. So that was a big bummer, but yeah, shout out to my father-in-law and letting us come and stay at their house this weekend and pack up and bring the dogs and yeah, feeding us and housing us and very, very grateful to have family in our lives for sure. So anyways, so this is inspired by some DMs that I've been getting recently. This topic, these typically it's men that are sliding into the DMs, right? Like wanting free relationship advice. I get this every now from women too. But I can't just like say this here. I can't just be giving out free advice all the time. I have this podcast here. I produce a lot of content on Instagram, my reels, my posts, all that. Like that, there's tons of free stuff out there for you. And it would be a disservice to my clients if I just came out and just coached in the DMs, right? And just gave everybody this free advice. And to be honest, it's not doing you any favors either. It's not me giving you like this one response back or even a few responses back if we have this exchange. There's so much work when it comes to sex coaching, like digging deeper, digging into the layers of this that are really where you are going to see the results. So just let that be known. I do free consultation calls. So if you're interested in getting some questions answered or, possibly even working together or seeing what programs I have currently running and whatnot, shoot me a DM for that, right? The link is in my bio, though. You can always set up a free consultation call. I will add it into the show notes here as well. But that's going to be your best bet. Get on a Zoom with me face to face and let's talk through what's going on. How long has this been going on? And for this specific topic, it's probably going to come around an initiation for a lot of people. You're initiating sex with your partner and they're not wanting sex. And while this majority of the time comes from men, it's the men that are the ones initiating sex or wanting to have sex, wanting more sex, whatever it might look like. And then it's the woman, their female counterpart, that is essentially just like, nah, not feeling it, not right now, not today, not this week even, or this month for so many people. It is a common thing. And I have done previously a podcast on initiation. So there are definitely a few initiation styles that you can check out within that podcast. That would be a great place to start. Having a conversation with your partner around, hey, when would be ideal? Like, when do you feel your sexiest? When do you feel most connected to me? When is the best timing for you? Like, these are good questions to ask and have conversations about, or rather have conversations around with one another. So anyways, this podcast specifically is around why she doesn't want to have sex with you. There's going to be some hard truths in this episode, so get ready, okay? I'm not trying to hurt anybody's ego, but sometimes we need to hear these things, right? So why she doesn't want to have sex with you, and on the other side, why she might be getting annoyed with you when you are trying to initiate sex. And so we're just going to jump right into this, and I hope that this answers some questions for a lot of people. So the first thing I want to point out, and I've done several podcasts on this, so I won't spend too much time on it, but the idea of desire discrepancy or mismatched desire is another easier way to put this. But essentially, one partner is wanting to have sex and the other partner is not. And generally, we see this where the men are the ones that are wanting to have the sex, they're having the higher sex drive, and the women are having the lower sex drive or not wanting to have sex. That is called desire discrepancy. And the piece that I want to give you educationally right now for you to understand that is generally women fall into the responsive desire type of category, meaning that they need something to happen in order for them to respond in a way that makes them become aroused or makes them turned on, basically. Whereas men fall more into that spontaneous desire, whereas the desire just hits them. They feel the desire and they don't really need those extra steps, if you will. It's already turned on for them. It's like, as I say, like this lightning bolt just kind of hits you out of nowhere and boom, you're turned on, you're ready to go. Now, do some women fall into that category? Absolutely. And do some men fall into the category of responsive desire? Absolutely. If you are listening to this podcast right now, you know where you fall into play, and you likely know where your partner is falling into play. And if you're unsure, really try to peel back the layers. If you're feeling like there's times where your partner, and I won't use gender terminology here, there's times where you feel like your partner is all of a sudden, you're on the couch and then all of a sudden they're wanting to make out, or they're on the couch, or you're doing something and they come up and they come and grab your boobs, or they grab your butt, or they grab your dick, right? That would be more of your spontaneous desire. These people that boom, they get that surge, they're turned on. Now, if you are someone that you're initiating and they're like, no, not really feeling it right now, or you are engaging in, maybe you're kissing and then you try to initiate, maybe like taking off the shirt or undoing the pants, and they're still like no, not really feeling it right now either. That would be examples of your responsive or reactive desire, right? And just to kind of go into like a 0.5 there of that second part that I just said, if you're making out and then you're trying to initiate and take things further and they're kind of like that standoffish, and this is your partner, right? Like, this is not somebody that you're on a date with, like meeting for the first time. This is your partner, your person that you're intimate with, you're connected with. It could be the wrong type of foreplay for that person, which is another great conversation I had very early on in the beginning of the podcast. Foreplay is my favorite F word. Check out that podcast all around foreplay. But if your partner is not into making out, and that's what you're doing, like that's your go-to move, it's not doing anything for them. It might be doing something for you, and that's great. And maybe they're giving in and participating in this making out with you because they know it's a turn on for you. But if you're doing it as a way that you think it's going to be a turn on for them, it's not always the case. Same thing with nipple stimulation, same thing with oral sex. So making sure that you're communicating with your partner on what are the things that turn them on, so that you're not essentially wasting your time. Of course, it's not like a full waste of time, again, if you're enjoying the thing, but if you're feeling more ready and they're not, we got to revisit that. Okay. You got to figure out what it is that's going to turn them on even more, to where they're ready to move into penetration or orgasm or whatever it is. All right. So that is your first note here, why she doesn't want to have sex with you. It could be desire discrepancy. However, this is a pretty easy answer for sex coaches and sex therapists to give, but it actually goes into a little bit deeper than that. And really, there are two types of people in this world when it comes to this idea. There's the people, when it comes to sex, there's the people that need the emotional connection before having sex, and then there's the people that need the physical connection before having sex. And for these emotional people, they need the emotion first to then engage in the physical. And for the physical people, they need the physical first to engage in the emotional, right? So this might show up into your relationship where you're somebody that needs that emotional connection first, but you're telling your partner, I need emotional connection. I need to feel connected to you. I need to feel safe, secure. I need to feel seen. And they're like, okay, but when we have sex, that's when I feel closest to you. Okay. And so that's where this can kind of show up a little bit differently. And there was actually a poll done on this, another sex therapist that I follow, and they polled their Instagram audience, Vanessa and Xander Marin. I might be saying their name wrong, last name. But anyways, they polled their Instagram followers, and they showed that 86% of women want emotional connection before the physical connection. And 77% of men want the physical connection before the emotional connection. So you see, again, I don't want to just put like everybody in a box, but generally speaking, it's going to be the women that want the emotional connection before the sex is happening, and the men that want the sex to happen so that they can feel the emotional connection to their woman. All right. So that understanding that, and again, as I'm speaking and I'm sharing this with you today, you know which version or which category your partner, your person falls into. So being mindful of this, if you're wanting to have sex with her and she's not wanting to have sex with you, ask yourself, is this a situation right now where we would feel emotionally connected? Does she feel connected to me right now? Or did I just kind of pop up out of nowhere and start initiating sex with her? All right. And some of these things, this is all going to tie into when I go into the second half of this episode of why she gets annoyed with you when you are trying to initiate sex. I originally planned these to be 2 separate episodes, but really they just fit so well together that they deserve to be here all in one episode. So thinking through those things again, of why she doesn't want to have sex with you. So again, it could be the desire thing, but really it does come down to that emotional connection. And again, for women that are listening to this, if you have a male partner that this is you're thinking, my God, I try to initiate, I want more sex, I want to have more sex, but every time I want to have sex with him or want to do anything with him, he turns me down. He doesn't seem interested in me. As women, and of course, men too, whenever this is you, we immediately start to look inward. We immediately start to see and ask ourselves, okay, what's wrong with me? Am I not hot enough? Am I not fit enough? Am I not good enough? Do I smell bad? Do I look bad? Like, what is it? Like, there has to be something wrong with me if they are not wanting to have sex with me. And that's not always the case. Can maybe that be the case sometimes? Yes, but the majority of the time, it actually doesn't come down to any sort of physical attraction. I'm speaking more in terms of long-term relationships as well. When you fall in love with somebody, there is not much that can change in their physical appearance that is going to make you fall out of love with them. My guess would be that you didn't fall in love with them in the first place based on their looks. Was that maybe a marker in the beginning when you first met them, and maybe that was your first attraction to them? You saw them, you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, they're hot, I'm attracted to this person. But that's not why you fell in love with them. You don't just fall in love with somebody just based on the sight of them, just because they're hot, right? And of course, I definitely believe in love at first sight, but that love at first sight, there's also that energetic connection there. There's been some sort of exchange, and it goes beyond just the physical attraction. Okay. And I think when people say love at first sight, it's really love at first meet, love at first meeting, if you will, love at first hangout, love at first date, something like that. It's not generally like we locked eyes across the room and I knew they were the one, again, unless there's some magical, universal, I'm going to use that word again, energy exchange, and you just in your gut, like it just hits you. Yeah, I feel like I'm contradicting myself now. I believe in that too. Do I think it happens all the time? Probably not. But again, there's not much that can change with you physically in the relationship that is going to make your partner either fall out of love with you or no longer want to have sex with you. Okay. Because you got to think, we age, right? Our bodies are always going to be changing. We're always, our fitness is going to be changing, the way we eat, the way we work out, like our bodies are going to change over time. That is one of the things that is given in life, is that change is going to occur. So don't beat yourself up if your partner is not wanting to have sex. Look beyond the scope of what your physical appearance is, or what you are or are not doing, and check yourself on this. Check your ego a little bit. Are you doing things, if you know that she's an emotionally connected person, are you doing the things to help her feel emotionally connected to you? And at the same time, for women, if you're feeling that emotional connection and you know your man is that spontaneous, that physical connection, put some initiative on yourself to be able to initiate. If you're feeling that emotional connection, initiating with him, knowing that he needs that physical connection to feel the connection for you. So once you feel that connection, right, he has served you in some way that you're feeling emotionally connected to him, and now you have that turn on. Boom, that's your green light to then initiate with him. It doesn't always just have to be one partner that is initiating the sex. Okay, and I need to point out, as I'm recording this, it is 222. If anybody follows angel numbers, download it to your system. It is 222, 2 hours and 22 minutes on the clock. Okay, now moving into the second half here. All right, if she is annoyed with you, what to do about her being annoyed with you? Why is she annoyed with you when you are trying to have sex with her? And again, egos aside here, guys, egos aside. All right. You're listening to this episode because you want to have more sex. And sometimes we have to just face the music. Is that the phrase, face the music? I don't know. I'm very close to starting my period, so I have a little bit of brain fog going on right now. But I have notes today. I have a whole outline of notes here for you. So I'm on top of them, ready to go. All right. So if she's annoyed with you, a lot of these, I'm going to go over the 5 common reasons, what I hear from clients of why she's annoyed with you when you try to initiate sex with her. And a lot of them have to do, the first 3 actually have to do with timing. Oh, timing. Y'all, read the damn room. Read the room. Okay? Timing. If she is if she is doing something, if she's in the middle of work, she's in the middle of getting ready, she's in the middle of her shower, she's in the middle of cooking dinner, she's in the middle of doing something, perhaps even watching her shows, and I have like some sub points to both of these timing things, but if she's doing something, it is probably not the best time to initiate sex. All right. Women, we have wires, the way our brains are wired is we have all of these different tracks moving around, right? So it is very, very hard for us to go from this thing, this task, this thing that we're putting our attention on and that we're focused on, to then switching and like, okay, now I'm having sex. Now I'm in the mood for sex. It majority of the time does not work that way. Okay. And then you guys, you just got one wire up in there, right? Like you got one wire. It's like, okay, I'm thinking about sex, and now I'm thinking about taking out the garbage, and now I'm back on sex, and now I'm going to go get gas. Like whatever it is, like you can compartmentalize so good. And women, it takes us a little bit more time. All right. And then going back to what we just previously talked about, like that emotional connection, if she is doing something and you're initiating sex, she may become annoyed with you. Okay. And I hope that gives you a better understanding of why, because she was focused on that thing. And now you're asking her to all of a sudden be in sexy mode. And that's not always going to be the case. Okay. And again, these are not just blanket statements of like, this is going to happen in every time. Do I believe that there was a time that I was cooking dinner and my husband came up to me and started kissing my neck and turned me around and like bent me over the counter? Yeah, that has happened before. Right. But generally, if I'm cooking dinner, like maybe he does the kissing and things like that. And I'm like, okay. So I know he's turned on. And then, I will say like, okay, I'm not feeling it right now. Like, let me finish cooking dinner. And generally I know this happens for me personally when I have a lot to do or I have a lot on my mind. But if it was generally an easy go, slow day and I still got, 30 minutes for the chicken to cook, great. Let's have at it. So again, reading the room and timing, you guys, is so freaking important when it comes to initiating sex. And especially when you are initiating sex with a woman, okay? So the other part of this timing piece, this little sub point of here, is self-care. If she is doing something for her own self-care, if she's taking a bath, if she's reading a book, whatever, if she's doing her nails, like whatever she is doing, that she is taking care of herself, maybe picking out her outfit for the next day or whatever it is, and you then are initiating sex there, that can be seen as a sign of disrespect. Like you don't respect her enough, or her time enough, that she's investing in taking care of herself, that you're going to come and try to hijack her time, is how it can be seen. Okay. So again, reading the room there, if she's investing in her self-care, or doing something for her, it may not be the best time to initiate. And also the second sub point here is if she is doing something for you or the family, right? So going back to like the cooking dinner, if she's cooking dinner for you and the family, if she is preparing the list for Thanksgiving dinner that you two are hosting, all right, if she is putting away your laundry and the kids' laundry, those are times those are probably times maybe to double check yourself on initiating at those times, because this can be seen as you are not acknowledging her, you are not appreciating her and the things that she does to take care of you and take care of the family. All right. So again, timing, and just have this little birdie in your head when you're thinking about initiating, and just asking yourself, like, does this seem like a good time? I know you're feeling really turned on. And men, I'm talking to you, that you can tap into that turned on energy pretty much at any given time. You know who you are, you know who I'm speaking to. Like, that you can turn that on in the flip of a switch. Okay, so just remember that. Yes, you're feeling really turned on right now. Maybe it's not the best time. Great. Go take care of yourself. If you need to, right? If it's that bad, go take care of yourself. That's only going to help you last longer if you do end up having sex later in that same day. Just a little ninja trick for you. Or maybe sex doesn't happen, but at least you're still getting your pleasure. You're taking responsibility for your pleasure. I would tell the women, and I'm telling you women, the same damn thing. If you are feeling turned on, and if it's not a good time for your partner, they're playing video games, like whatever, they're out with their friends, they're at work and you're at home, like whatever it is, if it's not a good time for you to initiate in that moment, take care of your damn self. Take responsibility for your pleasure. Okay. It is okay. And again, for men, if you're masturbating and you during the day and then you go to have sex that night, that masturbation session is only going to help you last longer in that sex session with your person. And women, masturbation only helps increase our desire. So the more that we are masturbating, the more our desire can be increased throughout the day. Because, orgasms are good, y'all. Like, we want them. We want more of them. So treat yourself with an orgasm. Okay. All right. So those first three, so the timing in general, but then also the timing around her self-care and the timing around her doing things for the family or for you to take care of you. Those are three major things that I hear from clients. The next one, another reminder to put your ego aside. The next one is the level of immaturity that can come through when initiating. Okay. And again, this is to no fault of men. I understand there was nobody that taught you growing up as a boy, as a teenager, as a young man. Nobody taught you, hey, this is how you initiate. This is how you bring on sex with your person, right? I get it. But there comes a time where you have to realize that the things that you're doing aren't working, right? When you come out of the shower and you swing your dick around, that's not generally a turn on. Majority of the time I hear from women, it's like you probably are getting an eye roll, right? coming up behind her when she's doing something and grabbing her breasts and honking her breasts or jiggling around her breasts, probably not a turn on. I don't often hear from women like, oh my God, my husband came out of the shower and started whipping his penis around like a helicopter, and I just was beside myself. I wanted to jump his bones right then and there. Right? Probably never happened. So the immaturity that can come through when you are initiating, or just making like funny, silly jokes around having sex. Sometimes women, we hear that, right, and we laugh, like we might think they're funny, but our men are actually serious. Right? They're like, that is actually them initiating, and then in their mind, when we don't bite, they're like, oh, all right, never mind, she doesn't want to have sex, right? They get shut down, their ego gets hurt. So men that are listening, really kind of stepping up your game. And this kind of falls into the last one that I have here, but stepping into your masculine more when it comes to initiating, and really holding that masculine pull, holding that space for her to where you are guiding her, you are stepping up into your leadership as a man, and you are guiding her into the sex. So this could show up as a sext earlier in the day. Like if you're on your way home and she's cooking dinner, this could be a sext, like, I can't wait after dinner to have you for dessert. And not like, can I have you for dessert? That you're setting the tone, you are setting for what's to come. Does she still have the option to opt out or be like, no, actually tonight's not the night, or whatever? Yes, of course. But the majority of the time, what I hear from women and the women that I work with, what I hear is that they just want their man to step up. They just want their man to like take that action. And I realize, I just went over all of the reasons of like what not to do, and all these things when men, you are stepping up and taking the action and doing the things. But again, it's a lot around timing, and it's a lot around establishing that emotional connection with her. So, having that masculine leadership. I have a great podcast on this, what women want in relationships. It was probably a few months ago, maybe last summer, around July-ish time. But check out that podcast. I go over masculine leadership a lot in that episode, and helping you step into your masculine more. And as I said, this falls into the fifth one that I have here, is kind of that wishy-washiness, that wishy-washy initiating, that do you want to do it? Like, it's almost like you're kind of like, you're tiptoeing around her. And I understand where this comes from. I understand that this is probably showing up if you are getting rejected a lot. If you're getting rejected by her a lot, and you're just like, I don't know where to go from here. And so when you're initiating the next time, you're just like, like, oh, is this gonna work? Like, I don't know. I feel unsure of myself. Getting back into your masculine. I cannot stress this enough. Getting back into your dominance, if you will, into your leadership, if you will, in your relationship, and, essentially taking back a little bit of that control. Why do you think that women went crazy when 50 Shades of Grey came out? It wasn't so much about the sex toys in the red room and all of that. It was about having a man that asserts his dominance and that shows up in that masculine space. And the way that he, flows through life, the way that he does his work, the way that he eats his meals, even goes for walks, like the way that he takes care of himself, like that is where the attraction came from. That is where the hype came from in those books and in that series. Same thing with, watching, like, Magic Mike just came out recently. Like, again, those men that are asserting their dominance and feel confident in their masculine, that's what women are craving. Like, that's what women are wanting. And putting into the pieces, like, a man in his dominance, a man in his masculine knows not to initiate when she is, cooking dinner or doing something. Like, the man in the relationship knows that not to initiate sex when you're already rushing to get out the door and you're already going to be late for the thing that you're getting to. Right. And again, maybe your woman, maybe that's a turn on for her. You will know if that is your relationship, but generally, All right. Well, that was good timing. We're just wrapping up here. My sister just got here with my nephew, my fur nephew. So if you hear the dogs barking in the background, there's no there's no getting away from it. They're going crazy. All the cousins get to be together and run around and play this week. So perfect time to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful. Of course, again, going through why she may not want to have sex with you and why she might be getting annoyed with you when you are wanting to have sex. So I hope that, again, that this was helpful for you. And of course, if you are interested in coaching, if you're interested in working together and just understanding the dynamics better of your relationship and wanting help to better communicate with your woman or better communicate with your man, let's do it. Go to that link in my bio, go to the link in the show notes here. Free consultation calls. We get 30 minutes together to really see how I might be able to help. And lastly, for any couples that are listening to this, Danny and I are running our couples experience virtually on March 14th. So just a few weeks away. That's a Tuesday night. We're doing that at 6 p.m. Eastern time. You can go right again to the link in my bio. I'll include it here in the show notes as well, but that is $99 a couple. And we just did this workshop in person a few weeks ago, and we got amazing feedback from the people and the couples that joined us. And so we are offering it virtually again on the 14th, and we're walking you through 3 of our favorite exercises as couples to be able to connect with each other and connect in a way that intimacy is now present. So if you were listening to this podcast today, you heard me talk a lot about emotional connection and that physical connection. We are teaching you tools for both of those things, the emotional connection and the physical connection. Those both show up in these practices that we're going to be teaching you. So definitely check that out. Again, $99 a couple. We would love to have you. We're doing this on Zoom. It's interactive. It's not just going to be us talking to you the whole time. It's great. It's going to be so good. So join us if you'd like for that. If you can't find the link, just shoot me a DM or an email and I will definitely get it over to you. So, all right, guys, that is a wrappy wrap. I will see you on the next episode. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you loved it, be sure to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you really fucking loved it, make sure to tag me on social media at @TheRachelMain. I'll see you next week.